Now, Lowcountry Forever, a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.
For a variety of reasons, a lot of folks here in the Lowcountry in need of help. It's our topic for discussion on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary. The Community Resource Center is here to help Lowcountry residents, and the founder and president of that organization joins us on Lowcountry Forever as we say hello to Mr. Lewis Smith.
My pleasure, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about your organization. Maybe not everybody is familiar with the Somerville Community Resource Center. When did you form this organization?
Well, we actually formed around 2010. It was formed for my late wife. My children and I got together to honor my late wife.
Wow.
And we put together the funds up for the organization, which is Community Resource Center Somerville. And we've grown since then. You know, we have the Community Resource Center in North Charleston.
Sure.
We also have about 4 learning resource centers, and we're opening a couple more. We are all over. It's actually a foundation, a family foundation.
Wow.
A 501(c)(3) family foundation.
Mr. Smith, explain to everyone what the Community Resource Center is actually about.
This Community Resource Center basically believes in our mission is to help in the lower economic area, one person, one resource at a time. We believe this is our mission ordained by God, and we've made a tremendous impact into the community at large, specifically the Lowcountry.
And a lot of what you focus on doing is empowering people and providing education, correct?
Correct. For example, during this pandemic has put a hurt on a lot of marginally employed as well as unemployed citizens.
Right.
And we have given, throughout the Lowcountry, they estimated we've given almost 300,000 boxes of groceries. We really impact. My goodness, our school drive is second to none in the state. Last year, we gave about 10,000 kids school supplies throughout the Lowcountry. We just recently did our Christmas giveaway. We impacted 7,535 children in the Lowcountry. We also help people find resources for their electricity bills, water bills, rent, and mortgage. We help people stay in their homes. We do that whole gamut, sir.
So obviously, to have these things happen, you need materials and you also need money. So where does that stuff come from for your organization?
We have a grassroots of supporters that help us.
Okay.
But this pandemic has, in all honesty, Brian, it has put a hurting on us. We do about 5 food giveaways a week, and we've been doing that since February.
Wow.
And when we say giveaway, at each one, like the Somerville location, sir, the Somerville location, we average about 500 cards. So each week, this in Somerville alone, we impact about 3,500 Lowcountry residents.
Wow.
And of course, that's putting a tremendous, and one thing with our organization, people can see it work. We're open and very transparent. We need monies to go to the food bank in the name of the Community Resource Center. We need to keep that going as much as possible. And, of course, the buildings in Somerville and so on and so forth, we need to keep those going. We did not anticipate this pandemic.
Right.
None of us did. Brian, 400,000 Americans are dead. But when we translate that with the amount of job loss, the amount of children staying at home, not able to go to school, the parents can't take care of them with the food, we're in a national dilemma. But I believe in the people in the Lowcountry, especially in the Somerville area. I believe that we will take care of our own. That's that thing we call Americanism.
Right.
And I know we can make it happen, Brian.
We're talking with Lewis Smith. He is the president and the founder of the Community Resource Center. You're getting help, I would assume, from some businesses and then maybe from some individuals. Let's talk first on the business side. What can a business do? How does a business reach out to you that is maybe listening today and going, boy, I would like to assist in some way?
If a business is listening and they want to reach out to us, let's partner. Let's partner together. Some things that we need, whether it be money, clothes, or whatever your business have, we can work with it. We can use it in our community. And don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our number is 843-530-9999. 844-830-6473. We also have two Facebook pages, Community Resource Center Somerville and Community Resource Center North Charleston. Please look us up and see what we're doing and see whether we can make a fit. I know we can. We need your help, and please help us.
And from an individual standpoint, me as a Lowcountry resident, I can donate. Do you need volunteers? Tell me what it is that I can do to help Community Resource Center.
Okay. As a Lowcountry resident, you can call us up, bring hygiene kits, hygiene supplies, bring canned foods, perishable foods, bring coats, bring shirts, pants, bring it. Everything helps. Everything helps, and we will give it out to the people. Like I said, we are very transparent. You can see your donations actually working. I mean, you can actually feel it and see it when you come down and visit us.
How about staff? Are you good on that, or do you need people to help and volunteer? What is your need there?
We always need volunteers. At the moment, we have a network of, I usually say about 300 volunteers throughout our entire complex, but we're always in need of volunteers. And that's what this is a community grassroots organization. So yes, we do need the volunteers, and please come on out.
We're talking with Lewis Smith from the Community Resource Center. Mr. Smith, let's turn it around now. I know someone who's in need in the community. What do they need to do to get assistance from the Community Resource Center?
Just give us a call. Go to our Facebook page, go to our website, and say, look, I need this, and we will answer. We generally answer very quickly, and we also make it happen. I want people to know that every Monday at 2 o'clock at the Somerville Y downtown Somerville, we do our massive food giveaway. We also do that in North Charleston every Wednesday. We also, the third Monday of every month, we're at the Edisto Free Indian Clinic in Ridgeville. So we have numerous locations. If you have a hard time keeping this up, just give us a call, 843-530-6473.
Now, you yourself, obviously, you're very close to the people that are in need because you're assisting them all the time, which is an amazing thing. What are you seeing in terms of the greatest need in the Lowcountry right now? What would you think that would be?
Food.
Okay.
Food and food. I, as an American, I hate to tell people my age, 69, but I never thought I'd see this. I heard about the Great Depression.
Right.
But what I see is these long lines. And what I see, and I hate to label anybody, but I see everyday Americans, hardworking Americans, who come and say, I never thought I would be in a line to get food. This is what's being impacted at this very moment. Americans trying to get food on the table for their children. Like I said, and I like to say this very proudly, we as Americans believe in that exceptionalism, and we're going to help. We are really going to help. And we are there. The Community Resource Center there is to fulfill that mission. Well, I'll say this again, Brian. I never, ever expected everyday average Americans, and I'm not labeling, please, to be in a food line looking for food. We need, because it's costing us every week for the food bank. Food bank has done an amazing job and is doing an amazing job, but getting some of the essentials the proteins that people need, it costs us. And we need the help to continue this mission. I don't see where this pandemic is ending at, but I do know it's a fact that we have Americans out there in those lines wanting food. And as long as I'm alive and well, what's going to be done.
And if people want to give you a monetary donation, I've been on your website. There's a donation link. You can do it through PayPal.
Okay.
And because you guys are a 501(c), those donations are tax deductible, correct?
It is tax deductible. What we ask people to do now is to go to the Community Resource Center, call us. We'll meet them, and we can give them the receipt. So it's to tell them exactly what they've given so they can report it. We want them to report it to the IRS. We want them to get a deduction. As well as, the clothes, we can do an estimate value of the clothes. We can do an estimate value of almost any product. So we're here to help. And I want to tell people in the Lowcountry that all this stuff stays here in the Lowcountry. I don't want to bring regionalism in it, but this actually stays in the low country, and you can see your dollar, your clothes, everything working because we are that transparent.
So obviously your focus right now is helping people in their immediate needs, but the Community Resource Center also has an educational aspect.
We work with people on many different levels. Health education is one of the most important ones. Us being in the South, our eating and dietary habits.
Guilty.
And everybody knows me when I see them smoking in a car, I tell them to throw that cigarette out. In other words, we have partnered with many health agencies, many educational agencies to bring a lot of awareness to the citizens of the Low Country, such as the Medical University, the VA hospital. In fact, we just got a major citation of thank you from the VA hospital. One of our specific goals is our veterans. And we help them, especially the ones that are marginally lost, transcend back into the communities. We have the computers there, so they come in. We help them navigate the computer systems with various social welfare agencies, and we give them clothes and what have you. This is what we do.
Well, as someone, Mr. Smith, who is on the front lines, you're seeing people that are in need every single day. Can you talk a little bit about their spirit, their mood?
It's not a total loss because I don't think majority of Americans don't believe in night. We believe in dawn. But we make sure that we see them and they say thank you. It's just amazing. But there's despair, I would say, no, is saying when it's going to be over because I am, as a human being, going to bounce back. I, as an American, is going to bounce back. And we're just giving them that hand, one resource, one person at a time, to pull them up.
And so we need to get you help in doing that. So why don't you run through again how people can contact you and what it is that you guys could really use right now to assist with everything the Community Resource Center is doing.
Number one, our telephone number is 843-530-6473. I'll repeat, 843-530-6473. They can call us anytime and we'll answer 24/7. Also, visit our Facebook pages and the website, and you can see it. And most importantly, come on down. If you have an opportunity on a Monday, just ride on by the Y. We're right there, and come and see what's happening. We have our Cash App, and the Cash App is $NCCRC, North Charleston Community Resource Center. And that's what we got. And call the food bank. And say, look, I want to make a donation for the Community Resource Center. And they will put it into our account. Right now, we're spending upwards to $500 to $800 a week making this process happen. Because we don't have a truck, we use the U-Hauls. We got to get the food from the food bank. Once the food is delivered, we got to make sure the volunteers are very well prepped. We bring it all together under one roof and helping the people.
So there's actually community resource centers in Somerville and North Charleston, but you're serving, you mentioned Ridgeville, you're serving the entire Lowcountry community.
We almost 1,000 to 1,500 mile radius. We go from the tip end of St. George to Watermolo Island, all the way up to halfway to Myrtle Beach, St. James, Santee. So yeah, and everything in between. The entire Lowcountry, we do it. And people see every week, we have 5 to 8 locations going, feeding the Lowcountry. And sir, thank you for giving us this exposure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for all you do. Lewis Smith, the founder and president of the Community Resource Center on Lowcountry Forever.
The Charleston Radio Group is the Lowcountry. Every week, we highlight local organizations and events that are helping to make a difference here where we live. If you have a group, event, or an idea to feature on Lowcountry Forever, let us know. Visit lowcountryforever.com and click on our podcast link for contact information. Now, Lowcountry Forever continues.
The City of Hanahan, our focus today on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, and to talk about Hanahan, we figured we'd go right to the top and the mayor of the city of Hanahan, the Honorable Christine Rainwater. Mayor Rainwater, thanks for joining us on Lowcountry Forever.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, Brian. I'm excited to share a little bit about my amazing corner of the world over here in Hanahan. We have some amazing things going on, and so let's get at it.
Well, let's start with this. In your role as the mayor of Hanahan, what does that involve?
Technically, it's a part-time job, but in reality, it's really just trying to give as much as I can to serve the people of my community. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts, is being able to help different people here, or maybe see vision of something that could really work together for the good of the community, and putting that all together and make it happen.
So when you go to a Google site, and I'm not sure whether you know this or not, but if you search City of Hanahan, it pops up City of Hanahan, a wonderful place to live. Tell me some of the things that make Hanahan wonderful.
Well, I would have to say there's a long list. I could go on. And I remember sitting in a training once, and they were asking you what made your city special. They wanted you to kind of expound in that specific area. Hanahan has this beautiful body of water that we surround. We have a lot of houses that are on the water, and it'll give you a beautiful sunset or a place to fish or boat. We love that. And the schools here are National Blue Ribbon Award winning. People absolutely love the schools here. Just the different availability of community services. Our fire, our police, our trash are not just your average. They're the type that I'm constantly getting letters saying how amazing they are to work with, very community-based and involved. Our sports, everyone loves sports here in Hanahan, whether it's through the school or our rec department. But all of that aside, I have to say the thing that truly makes Hanahan so special are the people here. We're actually becoming a bit of a larger city. We've grown 60% in the past decade.
Wow.
So they're expecting us to be just under 30,000 at the census, which will average us out to most likely be around the 17th largest city in the state of South Carolina. But we still have that small town feel. We have that neighbor helping neighbor. We love each other. We're there for each other. People know each other. And I don't think that's something that I can just build on. I can't just put a pretty attraction near the water and make that happen. That is something that is ingrained in the culture of Hanahan. It's a treasure, and it's something that I hope that we have forever here as a city.
We're talking with the mayor of the city of Hanahan, Mayor Rainwater, joining us this morning on Lowcountry Forever. Let's look at that a little bit, because the people that I know live in Hanahan, one of the reasons they love living there is that small town feel. But you are seeing some growth, and obviously the entire Lowcountry is seeing some growth. How do you balance that out? Obviously, you want to encourage business and people to live there, but you want to be able to do that, it would seem, without losing that small town feel.
I think that just has to be done using wisdom to say, what does that look like today, and what will this impact us in the future? You know, anytime we're making a decision, you really have to look at the pros and the cons. What could be coming? What could this also result in? You know, things often have a domino effect. And so when you really sit down and look at the growth that's coming and what is going to be a positive impact on our city, what is not. And then the other thing is we're really big on community involvement. We have the boards that it's not just the council, but the other people in the community speaking up. And we always leave room as much as possible for citizens to use their voices and express, what do you want to see now and in the future? And I think when we're able to really pull together that information of, you know, something maybe I wouldn't have thought of, but another council member or another constituent would have, and we value those thoughts and opinions and really have our eyes wide open, we're able to make the best decisions for our city. And so definitely want to grow responsibly.
You talk about working together with council and all that. I noticed if you go to the website and click on your bio, it doesn't say Republican or Democrat.
So in Hanahan, the positions on city council are nonpartisan, which basically means they don't hold a specific title. And it's super interesting. As I was campaigning around, people would often ask me that, and I try to explain to them what it means, but they really want to know your values. But the truth of it is, when you get elected to a local municipal position, you're really looking at a lot of issues that don't fall into a partisan position. Do you want a park or not? Or, you know, how is sanitation run? What about police and fire? Those things don't necessarily fall on partisan lines. It really just kind of takes the politics out of it, and we can focus on the people and what we can do to help them without having to suddenly take a side, or it looks like you're taking a side and argue about things that I feel like this day and age, everyone kind of has their backup to it if it just doesn't fall in a party line. So I really think it's for the benefit of us at this time that we're able to do that on the local level and really focus on the things that are going to make a difference in your daily life. A lot of people do focus so strongly on federal or even state, and those are super important. But really, the decisions we make here are going to answer, how are you going to get home? Are you going to be able to take your kids to the park?
Right.
Is your trash going to be able to be picked up? And we don't really have to worry about the partisan part of those things.
It's a beautiful thing. We're on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, talking with the mayor of the city of Hanahan. Christine Rainwater joins us now. Mayor Rainwater, how is it that you decided to come to Hanahan, because you grew up on Long Island, New York?
So I grew up as a Yankee, Northern by birth, Southern by the grace of God.
Yes.
And I was teaching up in New York after I got my teaching degree. I just really felt like God was calling me to the South, and my parents had decided that at some point when they retired, they wanted to come to the South. So I made a little pit stop in Rock Hill. I taught 5th grade there. And while I was there, I met my husband. And he was living here in Hanahan. The Air Force brought him here over 20 years ago, almost 30 years ago now. And he was living right off the main road in Hanahan, Yeamans Hall Road. And so when we met and started dating and decided we were going to get married, I knew right away I wanted to move to this area. It's just absolutely beautiful. And once I got here, to be knit right into the community and now have the opportunity to serve them is truly an honor.
So you seem to be a person, and the city of Hanahan itself seems to be open to getting feedback from people. And I noticed on the city website, there's a speak out section so residents can talk directly to their government.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm very accessible. I really try to focus on representing the people that elected me. And so I'm not doing a good job of that if I stick myself in a little bubble. I have to be willing to hear things, and I have to have an open mind when I hear it. In addition to that, we want to make it easy. So whether it's on our webpage or people will Facebook me, I give out my number pretty regularly, and they know they have someone to call. I remember when I first started doing that, the first few weeks of being the mayor, I didn't anticipate all the calls and messages that I started getting, and I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, gosh, there's just an issue around every corner. What am I going to do with this? And I changed my perspective. I started to think, I can't be in every corner of the city all day long. So if I truly rely on my residents to say, here's an issue, or this is going on, or we need your help, I call them my boots on the ground. I've got boots on the ground all over this city to bring things to my attention. And if we all work together to fix those things, what an amazing place our city is going to be.
What is it right now that you find maybe the 1, 2, or 3 things that are most important as Hanahan moves forward and continues to grow?
Well, I would say the number one thing right now is our park and rec. Our residents spoke very loudly in November. We put a bond referendum out for parks. We're going to be adding 2 additional parks and then really working on every other park that we have in the city. There's going to be some sort of an upgrade or addition or just making it better. And so we're going to bond that. And we put it on the ballot in November, and there was an overwhelming yes with over 70% of the vote. So we heard very loudly from the residents of Hanahan what they wanted. And so that's really where we're getting to work on right now. We are spending a lot of time just looking at either getting stuff done that we were already looking at. We have a 53-acre park that was already in process, and we were trying to decide with the money that we have, we could only do this much. If we had more, we could do this. And that's really what prompted it. But then we saw other opportunities throughout the city and decided to say, hey, where else can we invest this? And so hence the bond. And so now we're looking at not only that 53 acres, but we're adding another park on the water on Stewart and then doing those improvements. And the nice thing about the bond, not only are the rates so low right now, only cities have to phase things as they have budget to do them. Right now, we're able to just say, ready, set, go. Let's do all of it at once and not have to kind of wait 5 or 10 years to actually enjoy what you're paying for, but get it right away. An issue in our city that we're working on is flooding. And so just this morning, our city administrator was on a call again with the Army Corps of Engineers, and we have a special meeting this coming Tuesday, actually at our gym for those in the city that deal with that. And then the other thing is we're really continuing to work on our economic development. We did a downtown revitalization project. We have some awesome sidewalks and landscaping and lighting that have gone in that look amazing. We're in the process of burying our power lines. We're almost finished with that. And we're going to be adding solar lighting. And it was really interesting to find the solar lighting because it's saving the city a ton of money and it's also good for the environment. So we have some other projects going on downtown right now that I'm super excited that are in the works, but we're going to continue to work on just providing that quality of life of different services that are lacking in the city of Hanahan, and then we'll be able to have them. And it's super important too because there's not a ton of what I would call quality of life business. We have a lot of industry business.
Okay.
But not necessarily a ton of restaurants, for example. So what happens is, the hardworking citizens of Hanahan come home with their paychecks and then they go spend them in other towns and then they get the tax revenue. It doesn't come back to the city. So it's a win-win for them not having to face the Lowcountry traffic when they go back out. It's also a win for the city to make sure they're able to reinvest tax dollars right where people live. So I would say those are our big projects and they're all going really well.
And there's one thing in the city of Hanahan that I don't think everybody knows about that personally I feel is like really a crown jewel. The Hanahan Amphitheater is such an outstanding place. Can you talk a little bit about the amphitheater?
Our amphitheater is a secret gem. It's a little hard to find, and then once you find it, you never want to leave. And so it's this beautiful outdoor amphitheater on the water. It holds thousands of people. I think our largest event was a Tracy Lawrence concert that we did. We had about 3,500 people there, and there was still plenty of room, food trucks and other things available. People were just walking around. So we do everything there, from weddings or small parties to Tracy Lawrence concerts and things in between. Each year we hold our Red, White, and Blue Veterans Day Festival there in November, and that's a big day for our city. And then just recently, using that bond, we've connected our ball fields, which are kind of over here, and then there's some water. And then the amphitheater here, we did a little boardwalk over the water. And so now we have a full walking trail. So you will see people at our amphitheater every day, even if there's not an event there, just enjoying the beauty of the scenery and the water and the trails that are available.
We're talking with Christine Rainwater, the mayor of the city of Hanahan, on Lowcountry Forever. I wish I could avoid bringing this up, but the one thing that's hanging over all of us, COVID-19, how much of an effect has that had on what you've been able to do or not do, and how's that affected the city over the last 10 months?
I have to truly commend our staff and our citizens in regards to COVID-19, truly. There's a lot of negative that it has affected all of us worldwide, right? But sometimes we just have to shift our focus and say, has any good come out of this, or how have we handled this? And that's such a great question. So financially, we're actually doing well. One charge that we gave our staff is, what can we cut back on? Where can we save money? And I'm telling you, they dug in places, and we're doing okay financially. And I'm just heartbroken for cities that are struggling right now because of the impact that it's had. Additionally, our numbers, Berkeley County at this moment, now we've had our ups and downs,
right? But
at this moment, Berkeley County is one of the lowest, and we are one of the lowest in Berkeley County. But I can honestly say I get a report every single day, and I've checked it every single day. That has been consistent through this entire virus pandemic that we've all been dealing with, that the city of Hanahan's numbers have been some of the lowest around. And I really commend our residents for just taking personal responsibility and doing whatever they needed to do to keep those statistics and really what that statistic stands for. It stands for people that may or may not be having these horrible symptoms and potential death. And then our fire department has stepped up months ago. They actually became a testing site. So any day you could come here to the city of Hanahan and get tested. And we're literally in the process. I don't want to throw it out there just in case, we have a hiccup or this and that, but it looks like within a week or so, we will be a vaccination site as well. So I really commend them because they're still fighting their fires. They're still answering those 911 calls, yet they're going above and beyond, adding this very complex piece of their job right here in the city to make it available and helpful. And I really think that that's been a part of keeping our numbers low. So really working together, the citizens and the staff, just pulling together and doing what it's taken. Thankfully, it has not had such a dramatic impact on our city as it has on others. And so I'm so grateful in the midst of this craziness that we're holding strong.
And yes, Mayor Rainwater, you're the mayor of the city of Hanahan, but it sounds like you're also the town's biggest cheerleader. Maybe you should also be the head of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. I have my business cards, and on the back of it, there's a little saying, and it says, "Let's be difference makers in our extraordinary city." And I really take that word to heart too, extraordinary. You know, it's not every day you can walk into a city that, you know, you have the beach here and farms up here and then all these beautiful services right there. And then you have that small, tight-knit family feel too. So it's truly an extraordinary city.
The city of Hanahan. She is Christine Rainwater, the mayor of the city of Hanahan, offering a look at the city and telling us about all that the city of Hanahan has to offer here today on Lowcountry Forever.
Thanks for listening to Lowcountry Forever. If you missed any of this week's show, there's a complete recording under the podcast link at lowcountryforever.com. Lowcountry Forever is a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.